This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, I could see still people are joining in. Okay, thank you for joining. Good evening, everyone. So if you look at my screen sharing, okay, it's coming up. Okay, so what I was telling is like these are the 10 different modules that we will be discussing for the next 10 days or 10 weeks, in fact. Okay,
Wait,
so it
say
is
your
coming up.
screen.
No, the screen is coming up. Okay, so now it should be
Okay,
visible.
now we got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the 10 different modules that we have framed. So as I just told you, I want to quickly reiterate. So every Saturday, we will have a kind of theoretical plus practical and demo session from us. And then on Sunday, every alternate day, you have to kind of do the practice. So we will be here with you. If in case you are stuck somewhere, you are not able to execute, not able to write that script, or not able to execute that, we will help you out how to fix that, how to, how to remediate the situation and keep moving. Okay, so we want everyone to kind of learn and then do some hands-on work. That's the way we feel like it will be effective training. So we are going to stay connected for the next 10 weeks at least, and then we are going to cover these 10 module. Okay, so you can take it over, Napoleon.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Please let me know once you can able to see my screen.
Yes, Napoleon, we can able to see your screen.
Yeah, yeah, thanks for the confirmation. All right, so welcome to Python class. So so as Stan said, so it's a very basic thing. Start from the basic for learners. So we are going to start very basics to somewhat advanced. So today we will cover mostly related with the introduction and installation stuff and how the Python is working in reality in real IT. Okay. So before starting with the introduction of Python, so I just want to know from everyone. So what do you think about Python? So have you used before any scripting? Have you written any scripting using Python? So I just want to understand from you guys.
I never used, but I know this is
Okay.
programming language. I have seen somewhere. Basically, I belongs to .NET domain.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so I know how Python will work, but I don't know anything about Python.
Thanks for the information, Pepin. So yeah. Anyone else?
Hello. Yeah, this is Nova. I used Python for my some of the projects. I
Okay.
just copy paste the codings and edited for my projects and successfully done the projects. So I just want to learn the basic properly so I can
Okay.
go forward to do some other project, my own coding and everything.
Sure, Nava. So, yeah, few of them is not used before. A few of them heard, it's a powerful tool, and few of them is used based on the, internet support and also, some other existing script. So, okay, so before going to that, so this is the one we can able to get all the syntax, logic, how it is working compared with the other scripting languages. So how it gonna be, we can learn all those things. So it's basically at the end of the day, so you supposed to know how the script is, Python script is, how we can able to write this script. So based on the syntax, program standards, and best practices and all. Okay. So Python, how many of you know so Python is a scripting language or programming language? So there are two terms which is used in IT, right? So .NET we know is a programming language, Java, so some other thing. So like that, and PowerShell, Bash Shell, these are the scripting languages. So so what do you think in Python? So is a programming language or scripting language?
I feel it is both.
Yeah.
Both.
To me, it's
Exactly.
programming.
All right. Yep. So it's both actually. So
Okay.
Python is a widely used scripting in IT infrastructure and programming languages in terms of IT application development. So it is used widely because of its supported modules. I mean, in terms of libraries. So we can use widely for all other IT infra, and data scientists also they are using. So there are a lot of platform which is using for Python because of its readability, understandability, and also it's very popular in place. Okay. Right. So, in terms of Python, so Python is an scripting language and also programming language, as I said, right? So, we are just going to make use of Python in terms of IT infra automation. So, before starting with that, so the Python is an interpreted language. So, can anyone what is interpreted and compiler? Okay, so in programming, there are three items we supposed to learn. So one is assembler, and second one is compiler, and third one is interpreter. Let me quickly share my another thing. Just wait. Can you able to see my notepad?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So first one is assembler. Second one is compiler. Third one is interpreter. Okay. Right. So those three items are used in most of the programming languages and also scripting languages. So okay. So before proceeding with that, so what is this tools is okay. So we are typing the code in the editors, right? But how it is translated into machine code, those process will be handled by these tools. For example, so you are going to write a Python script. So you are going to write a Python script in the editor. So once you completed your work, so you are going to execute the code. So once you execute that, so the machine will take care of your code into the consideration, and it will convert into the machine code. The user code will be converted to machine code. So there is a process is happening, right? So those process will be handled by these three tools. So basically, the assembler is the old one, which is used in the microcontroller. Have you heard of microcontroller, microprocessor, those things? System engineering stuff. So at the time, so we supposed to use assembler. The compiler is again the C++, those Java also we are using compiler. So if you used before those languages, so you might know the compiler process. So it will just convert the code into the machine code. And the same way, interpreter also going to convert the code into machine code. So the interpreter is mostly used in Python and also PowerShell and other scripting languages. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so as I said, the Python is an interpreted language. So if you compare with the both compiler and the interpreter, so assembly is the very old one. So anyway, we are not going to use that in the environment. So the compiler and the interpreter both are is very popular in place. So if we see interpreted is to translate the program into line by line. So if you have hundreds of line, so it will execute one by one only. But whereas the compiler will scan the entire program and translate at the whole. So if you have 100 lines of code, it will take all hundreds and it will translate into the machine code. So this is the difference between the interpreter and compiler. So any doubts with that? So what is interpreter and compiler?
Uh, in other programming languages, we can say something like Git compiler, something like I heard. In .NET we
Yes,
use Git compiler. So
Git
here,
GIT compiler, right, in .NET.
yeah,
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 so .NET is used in compiler. So all the codes are taken into the consideration. It's executing into machine code. So those are compiler. So here
okay.
we are using Python is interpreted language. So that's why it's execute line by line.
Or any terms, something like JIT, because in .NET we say JIT compiler. So here, any other terms, something like that.
Sorry, can you come again, please?
In C Sharp and Java, we call it as JIT compiler, which will do all this process. So
Yeah.
for here, Python, the interpreter,
Okay,
is there
we
any
are not
term
we are
like
not
that?
yeah, we are not going to use anything. So it's a technical term which I'm explaining. So Python is using interpreter in order to execute the program or script. It's an interpreted language. That's what I mean.
Okay, that one I got it. But my question is there any like JIT compiler? Is there any such programming behind this
No,
interpreter?
no, nothing actually. So this is the basic one which is available by default.
Okay,
So we no need to do anything like others.
okay.
All right. Okay, so I will move to next one. So okay, as I said, the Python is an interpreted language, so it will do it will run line by line execution. And the second one is an dynamically typed language. So what is dynamically typed language means? Have you heard about data types?
Yes.
So, all right. So, what is data types? If you ask me, so data types is a category of data. For example, if the numbers are comes in integers, and so the characters a, right? So those numbers are comes into the integer data type, and a b. So single letters will be considered as a character, and more than one character, which means more than one character is called a string. Alright, so we have some other data types as well. True or false comes under Boolean. So we will learn about data types later in detail. So for now, I'm just giving how it is categorized. Okay. All right. So those are the four things we're supposed to use in all the languages. So integers are the numbers which in use. So we have float and double as well. So those data types is decimal points, the data values, and the character. Each letters is considered as a character, and more than one letters is called a string. It can be a word, it can be a sentence, and the boolean is something the true or false, zeros and ones is supposed to be a boolean value. So we will learn about this one later, but data type is to segregate or categorize the data based on the groups. Okay. So in Python, so it's a dynamically typed. So why is it dynamically typed? Usually in other programming language, we have to mention, if we are creating a variable, we have to mention the data type first. So for example, I'm going to get a name from users. Then if I'm going to mention the variable called age, so I need to mention the data type before. Then only system will understand the age is supposed to be an integer. Okay. So this is how we supposed to define or declare a variable in other programming languages. Other language like .NET or C#. But here in Python, we no need to mention any data type when you are creating a variable. So just you have to create a variable, you can assign the values. So why? Because the Python will automatically taken care of data types based on the value which we are going to store. So if I'm storing a 10 on age variable, then the age will be considered as a integer automatically. So that's why Python called is a dynamically typed language. Any questions with that?
It will automatically identify the variable type.
Yes, it automatically identify the variable data types based on the holding value. Is it clear?
So one question. So here you mentioned age equal to 10, right? So what will happen, let's say in next line, I'm just mentioning age equal to, instead of 10, mistakenly I have put some strings. So how it
Okay.
will behave?
So here, okay, when 10 was assigned with the age, it will be considered as a string, I mean integer. So now it is overridden with the value, I mean different value. So it's a string, right?
Okay.
So if once it is overridden, then the data type will be changed. But it's again based. There are two type of conversion types available. So one is implicit conversion. Second one is explicit conversion. So we will learn about that one later. But why I'm saying some data types can be merged. I mean, can be overridden. For example, if you are going to change integers to string, it will be easy. Okay, but if you are going to change string to integer, it will be difficult since it's a characters, number of characters is a numbers. Okay, so that's why you have to be careful when you are converting the data types to one one data type to another data type.
So based on this code, Python will throw any error. So that's
Yes.
a bit
Data
confused.
type, data type error also we will get. We will get all those issues if you are doing the wrong data type conversion and also assignments.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, all right. So next one. So Python is a garbage collector. Okay, so the garbage collected is the one to perform all the memory management. So For example, so if it will keep track of all the objects in memory, and whenever the reference count is going to be dropped, then it's immediately removed. So which mean it will check periodically on the unused variables. So there are some times so you will create a variable for some purpose. Unfortunately, you could not make it this you could not make use of the variable in the script. So at the time, what will happen? The memory somewhat waste, right? So at the time, Python will automatically keep on track of all the objects which is really in use. If it is not in use, then it will um, you know uh, it will inform them to you remove actually. So the garbage collection will happen in Python automatically. And few best practices in terms of memory management we have to handle with whenever you are going to open a session on a remote session, you're supposed to close the session once the task has been completed at the end. So at the end of your script, you have to close the session. And also, if you are going to open a database connection, so at the end of the operation, you have to supposed to close the database connectivity. So those are the things we really supposed to do manually. Sometimes it will be taken care if it is not in use, and also if it is inactive for some idle time.
So
So
is there any way to manually dispose, manually force the garbage collector to take active instead of waiting for the automatic memory management?
yeah. So if you are using an IDE and also it will show actually.
Okay.
So next one is high-level programming language. So there are two languages we supposed to uh, gone through. So one is low level, and the second one is high level. The low level is mainly used assembler. So the
Napoleon,
assembler
sorry
says
to interrupt. I think we are
yes.
just seeing the notepad only. If you are flipping between notepad and PowerPoint,
Oh,
we are just seeing
okay.
only the notepad. Yeah, we are not seeing both
Yeah.
the screens.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thanks, Dan. I thought it's visible for you.
No, no, no. Can others confirm? Are you able to see both notepad as well as the slide deck?
No,
No,
sir.
yeah, only
We
No.
notepad.
can able to see only
Oh,
Only
notepad.
notepad, right? Okay. See,
okay.
maybe you can quickly summarize, okay, just for the interest of
Sure.
others. So
Yep.
there are three different kind of techniques where you can convert the kind of written code for machine to understand. Okay, so we used to have assembler in the past when the hardware used to be predominantly like we used to work with physical hardware. But then things have changed, right? Now it's all virtual systems or cloud-based system. Now predominantly we have only two type of techniques. One is the interpreter and the compiler. Whereas the interpreter, it can go and check each lines of code and then confirm back whether the written lines of code has got any issues or errors, and then it will execute. So Python is kind of coming under the interpreter category, whereas compiler category is predominant in the OOPS, the Java, C, C++, and the other category of languages. So that is where we started with, right? So maybe like
Yes.
you guys be interactive, okay? So I just stepped away and came back. Then I noticed like we are not able to see the both the screens. So anyways, I think this is the difference between compiler and interpreter. And maybe we talked about the
Garbage
data
collection.
types, right? Yeah, data
Yes.
types followed by garbage collection. Yeah, maybe you can quickly give a recap on the slide alone so that they follow
Sure.
along. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So the first one we when we discussed about Python is an interpreted language. So we just discussed about various types of um, you know machine language conversion. So the assembler is as said it's a old one. It's, for example, say microcontroller, microprocessors, all those things comes used assembler language. And here compiler is used in such a way in .NET, Java language. So interpreted is a most way to execute a code line by line, and Python is used in interpreted way, and it's dynamically typed, since usually in other language we have supposed to mention the data type before the variable actually, but here the variable will be taken, the data type will be taken based on the variable value. So what are the values you are going to assign? It will be taken based on the value. The data type will be taken care by Python. The third one is a garbage collected. So it periodically check the variables, so whether it in use or not. The next one we supposed to start with the high level programming language. So there are two language we supposed to mention. The one is low level and high level. The low level is used long back. So as I said, it's used in assembler language, and nowadays all programs are high level languages, since it's using a compiler or interpreter in order to translate the code into the machine code. Right. So Python, we are using interpreter. Python used interpreter, so that's why it's a high-level language. Okay. So any questions? Okay. So next one, Python is simple and easy to learn the syntax, and the readability is something easily we can able to read all the thing. So if you are going to take it from the internet, and if you are going to take a reference from the colleague existing code from the repository, then once you understand each and every syntax, and how it is differentiated based on the logic, then you can easily understand the structure, and also you can able to modify the code based on your understanding and the requirement. All right, so the next one is it supports multiple programming paradigms. Okay, so before going to that, so we supposed to understand what is paradigms. So paradigm is nothing but is a if we are going to give a solution to the problem, it's called paradigm. So paradigm can also be termed as a method to solve some problem or do some task. Okay. So programming paradigm. So using the programming approach, you are going to solve the problem. It's called programming paradigm. So the technically we are going to use some languages in order to solve the problem. Right. So we have different kind of programming paradigms. So imperative programming paradigm, declarative. So imperative having few more types: procedural, object-oriented, parallel, and the declarative we have logical, functional, database processing approach. Okay, but in okay, so for few languages it supports only few paradigms, but in Python we can manage we can make use of more programming languages. Programming paradigms. So for example, Python supports object oriented in order to if you are going to create a object, a class, methods like other languages, Java, .NET, you can make use of Python for creating all those stuffs. And also you can make use of Python for procedural standard scripting, and also functional programming. So you can make use of Python for any type of programming paradigms. All right. So any questions with the definition of Python? So Python is an interpreted language, dynamically typed, garbage collected, high-level programming language. It has a simple and easy to learn, and readability is high, and it supports multiple programming paradigms. So any questions or any doubts with the definition of Python? Right. Okay, so where we are using Python. So Python is used in many platforms. So in FT application, in IT infrastructure automation. In IT infrastructure automation, it's not about a single platform. So it can be used in cloud, Intel, Unix, database, storage, network, and other platform as well. So why? Because Python is independent language, so we can make use of Python in all platform as well. And also it is used by researchers, mathematicians, data scientists because of its easy understanding of syntax and also wide range of open source packages. So there are a lot of packages available, and based on that we can make use of the package for our problems, and also we can leverage those things, and we can extend the scope. If you understand the Python very well, you can take the module and you can able to add few more features into that for your requirement. So are we good? Any questions?
So hope everyone will be able to answer if someone asks you what is Python definition or where we are using Python at a very high level. So this slide conveys that, right? It has got the definition and it has got the use case where we are generally using it. I think I'm clear, Napoleon. Yeah, we
Yeah,
can move on.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's clear. Thank you.
So it's just a history about Python. So the initial development is designed by the Guido van Rossum and introduced in 20 Feb 1991. So after that, it was moved. It was taken by Python Software Foundation, and now it is handled by Python Software Foundation license. This comes under license. I mean, it's a open source only, but there is a standard way of managing things, and it supports all the OS platforms like Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android. So that's why if you are creating a script, it can be used in multiple OSs. And the last one is a case sensitive. Yes. So if you are going to write the code, you have to careful when you are adding the keyword. So for example, if you are going to add if condition is supposed to be small. So if you are make use of capital I and F, it will be a different one. And if you are going to use the variable as age small letters, then if you are going to use capital letter, then it will be considered as a different variable. So it won't take the existing value since it's a case sensitive. Okay, right. So next one is a flavors of Python. So if you heard about Anaconda, Python and other Python, so it's a different flavors actually. So Python is a single platform. I mean single distribution thing, but it has lot of flavors. How even if all flavors having its own functionality. So for example, C Python is mostly used in web development, application development, and scripting. So it will be easy to okay. It's based on the requirement, you have to select the flavors. So in our class, we are just supposed to use only the basic Python only. But if in reality, so if you want to create a web development, then you can go with Flask, Django, and other Python modules. So Anaconda is the next one I supposed to use for machine learning and data science activities. So if you are going to make use of Python, then you can go with Anaconda flavors. For IronPython, so if you are going to integrate the Python with the .NET platform, then you can make use of IronPython. So in the Visual Studio IDE itself, you can able to find IronPython. Okay, the Python is mainly used for Java virtual environment. So if you already know Java very well, so but if you are going to integrate the Python into the Java application, you can make use of Python. So Jupyter Notebook. So whenever you are going to create a interface like interactive programming environment, so you can make use of Jupyter Notebook. So for example, so if you are going to type your code into the web-based interactive application.
Your voice is breaking. Is it only for me or to everyone? Raja here.
Okay, so
I
can you hear
think
me?
Raja, no, I'm able to hear you properly. So I think Raja, you can reconnect possibly.
Can others confirm? Is it like
Yeah,
okay
yeah,
to everybody?
yeah. It is good for me.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
then
So
might be.
okay. So have you used any web-based executor? I mean editor. For example, so there is some editors available online. You can type your Java code, you can type your Python, PowerShell, or any kind of code. So there is a page available. You have to type your code, and you can able to execute on the console itself, on the web page itself. So those applications are is created using the Jupyter Notebook. So it's an interactive programming environment, right? So you have to type the code, and you can able to execute. You can able to find get the output on the other console. So those kind of web-based interactive program also you can able to do that using a Python notebook. So next one, PyPy. So PyPy is the first Python implementation with the GAT compiler. So as you okay, so if you want to make use of GAT compiler, then you can go with PyPy. Stackless Python. So Stackless Python is other C Python supported microthread. So if you are going to do any development using microthreads and all, you can go with Stackless Python. And next one is MicroPython. So for microcontrollers related stuff, you can make use of MicroPython. So there are a few more flavors also available. So I listed only the main Python based on the segregation of work. So for example, it's a .NET, you can make use of IronPython. For Java, you can make use of Jython. For web-based interactive console, you can make use of Jupyter. So all those majority of flavors I have included here. Okay. Next one, advantages of Python. So there are some more advantages available, and also few disadvantages. But I won't tell state disadvantage, but it might be we might face this disadvantages during the execution, during the development process. So first we will go with the advantage. Okay. So the first advantage is it's simple to use and simple to understand. So second one is open source. So we no need to get the license and other things. So for .NET and all, we supposed to get Visual Studio license like. So here is a open source. So we can just go and download the packages and we can install it on our systems. So their third one is productivity has been increased. So whenever you are going to make use of Python, so the comparatively the script will execute on all OS platform, right? So you can able to find the productivity. So even though it's a multiple platform, so it's an interpreted language. So as we discussed, it will run line by line. So it will, even though if you have thousands of line in the editors in the script file, so it will run line by line. If any issues happen in between, it will stop the execution. Okay, so extensive library support. So there are a lot of libraries available. So you can go and find the corresponding one which you supposed to take it for your requirement. And if you want, you can able to modify the library as well. Okay, so next one is dynamically typed. So as we discussed, the data type is automatically taken care. So we no need to mention any data type when you are going to create a variable. Supportability and also supportive community. So it has a lot of advantages, right? So when compared to disadvantage, so it's again something same as the advantage. So if you see, So simple is one of the things. So if it is simple, sometime what will happen if someone going to read your code, it will be easy for them to hack, right? So that's the one. And the database access layer is still there are few modules availability. They are still need some more development on the database layer and design restrictions. So when it comes to MVC, okay, model view controller, have you heard, right? Okay, in .NET and all we have MVC pattern. It's a model view controller. So those are it's a design patterns actually. So those kind of segregation is not in place. So there are some restrictions is there, even though if it is there in these different flavors. And next one is a weak in mobile computing and browsers. So for browser, we have Selenium. So Selenium is a Python-based tool, right? So you can make use of Selenium for browser-related activity, but still there are some less portion of mobile computing and other stuffs. And next one is a speed limitation. Okay, so when we are going to integrate multiple languages, so you can integrate Python, PowerShell into Python. You can call the PowerShell script. You can call the Bash shell script from Python. So there are a lot of integration also possible. So at that time we might face some limitations in terms of performance, in terms of connectivity and that. So it might happen, but not for singular few codes. So if you are going to do for bulk activity, if you are going to execute a bulk code, then it might be happen. Okay, any questions?
No questions. Yeah. Good.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, no. Thank you.
All right, so the next one is okay, so the real world Python applications. Okay, it might be surprised if you were not sure on this one. So the web, okay, we can use Python in different platforms, right? So in web development, we can use Django, Pyramid, Flask, Bottle for web-based application development. So for example, the Instagram, it's in real world application, right? So we are using Instagram, right? So the Instagram is developed in Django. Django is a Python flavor. Okay. So using Django only, the Instagram was developed. So we are just using the application, but we are not sure which language is supposed to be right. It might be a Java-based application. It might be a .NET. It might be a Python as well. So the Instagram is pure on Python. So the Django is the web framework used to develop that application. So if you are going to develop a web application, you can make use of Django, Pyramid, Flask, so all those web frameworks. So this is the example, Instagram. The next one, game development. So if you are going to develop a game, then you can make use of PySci, Pygame. So those are the modules or the libraries, Python libraries actually. So it is a framework. Here is a module libraries, Python libraries. So using that, you can able to extend your scope. I mean, you can able to achieve your task. So for game development, you can make use of these two Python-based libraries. And for example, Battlefield 2, World of Tanks, those games are developed using this, Python libraries. So the scientific and numerical applications, we can make use of SciPy, scientific numerical library and Pandas. So if you have, understanding of machine language, you might aware of Pandas. So Pandas is widely used one when it comes to data collation, data processing, data data scientists, data analyst process actually. So for in reality, we have this FreeCAD, Abacus, those two applications are used SkyPy. So when it comes to artificial intelligence, AI and ML, so Keras, TensorFlow, you might hear about TensorFlow. So the TensorFlow, Scikit, so those Python packages we can make use of it. And the example one is NLTK, Cafe. So those applications are Python based. So in software development, Google.com, right? So those Google.com application, they did Netflix also is a Python based application. So for software development also we can make use of it. So for enterprise and business application, Odoo, Triton is using Python. For web scraping application, Selenium, URL, those application in place. So the web framework, Python package, all those things is based on the Python only. So if you know the basic Python, you can make use of those libraries, and then you can able to extend your development. So without the basics, it is somewhat difficult to make use of all the frameworks. Okay, so in the language development, so Python itself is a language, but using Python also we can. There are few languages developed. The Bo, Swift, CoffeeScript, Cobra. So these are the language is inherited from the Python. So in the infra automation, especially in configuration management in DevOps. So in DevOps, there are a lot of cycle, right? So in that cycle, there's a configuration management. So in the configuration CI/CD pipeline, there's a configuration management. So under the configuration management, there are a lot of tools availability in IT. So especially Ansible SaltStack. You might hear about Ansible SaltStack, right? So those two configuration management tools is based on the Python. So without Python installation, you can't able to install Ansible SaltStack. So those Python's the since it's based on Python, that's why. Any questions with the real-time, real-world application and also the real-world usage? Okay. So for some of the use case with respect to infrastructure automation is gathering the server information. It's not only server. You can gather the information of network, storage, database. It's just fetching the information, and you can able to install the necessary packages, softwares, tools on the machines. So it's can be a multiple, different device platform, since Python is voice independent, right? So you can make use of Python in all other voice platform, and also you can you can perform service management related activities using Python in infra, capacity management to fetch the storage capacity, database growth, all those things. And based on the information, you can create a table, or you can send an email notification. So you can perform all those end-to-end activity. License management. So in terms of license also, you can able to achieve it. So configuration management. So there are few configuration management tools available. So if you already have those tools, you can make use of it. Otherwise, you can do it in Python itself.
So can you give some examples on the service management and the license management?
Okay, so the service management is purely is on an application service.
Okay.
So
On
application
off.
service,
Okay. Stop
yeah,
start.
on and off,
Okay.
yep, stop, start, all those
Okay.
things. So the license managers means something related to the application license, Apache license,
Mm-hmm.
database license. So that
So
license
okay, so
is
is it
going
like
to
okay, is
UOL,
it going to get
UOL,
expired? Okay.
yeah, UOL, UOSL,
Uh-huh.
those stuff.
Okay.
Right. So before moving to version, I will give you some idea on info automation. So far it's okay. Any questions?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, so far.
Right. Okay. How many of you from infra background? So I mean, you guys are from infra or IT or some other field?
Yeah, myself, Raja here. I'm from Infra.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
basically like currently working on Linux and Unix platform. So
Okay.
like yeah, also like I'm handling the servers in both physical servers and the cloud
Mm,
servers. So I
okay.
just
Super.
want to have the experience and want to use it in the real time. So we
Okay.
have a lot of physical servers actually. So we
Okay.
want to do the automation part with respect to the
Yeah.
certification management and
Mm,
deployment, and mainly like to do the firmware upgrade and all these things on the ILO is challenges in my
okay.
infrastructure. So
Okay.
I want to use this opportunity to learn and deploy it. Yeah,
Sure.
that's
Sure,
what I'm
Raja.
doing.
So yeah. Okay. So the physical server. So it's a HP server or
Yeah,
IBM or combination of
we have
HP?
like majorly HP server, HP ProLiant, and
Okay.
Dell servers we have
Okay.
Dell
Okay.
latest
Yeah.
models. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. So we can, the after the deployment of physical servers, we supposed to do the configuration, right? So without, okay, so I am just telling based on my experience. So without doing the manual, configuration, we can do automated way.
yeah.
Um, the NTP and other installation stuff and modification. So if you are having ILO access, so it can be done, automation.
Okay, yeah. I have the IL access. Yeah, I
Okay.
have it.
Okay. So yeah, there are a lot of opportunities. So we
Yeah,
just need to, okay, since you already have the experience, how it is working manually, right? You just need to
yeah.
convert all those SOPs into the scripted way. So
Yes.
so
Yeah,
once
yeah.
you understand the script, the logic, it will be easy for you.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's the reason.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right. Right. So anyone from other background apart from infra?
Hi, hi Aragya. I am Ramanathan from Infra background. I was
Okay.
working in Linux and Linux administrator. Now I
Okay.
moved to automation team, which means I am going to work mostly Ansible as well as PowerShell, then shell scripting. Now it's the most important for Python. Now I am stepping into Python. I think it's a
Okay.
great opportunity for my career. That's what I am doing. So in Python. That's of myself.
Sure. Yeah, sure. So since as I said, Ansible is purely on Python. So you can make use of Ansible modules, and also if you want to create a Python, you can create your own script and embed into the Ansible, module. So for you, it's
Yes,
very good. Yeah.
To be honest, earlier I wasn't completely, I was in infrastructure. Now I recently 2 months only I moved
Okay.
to automation team. So I'm
Yeah.
stepping into automation now. So these are things are most helpful for my careers. So I'm
Sure.
looking
Sure.
forward to meeting you people. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so the main is is a very basic thing. So even if you don't have experience with the programming, not having written any code, it's fine. Anyway, we are
Mhm.
just going to start from the scratch only, so it will be
Okay.
easy for you to understand. So today is mostly related with the theoretical, and so maybe is you can able to understand more, but sometime the how the terms, for
Mhm.
example, the interpreted compiler. So those terms it will be hard to understand a little bit, but going forward it will be easy since this, we are going to start only with the scripting, stuff, right? It will be easy for you
Oh,
to understand.
okay, sir.
Okay, so whenever you get hard, could not able to understand anything, please let me know. Stop me anytime. No issues. I will, yes, explain back, multiple times. Also fine for
Yeah,
me.
definitely. Yeah, currently I am doing one of the use cases in place upgrade, which is I'm going to working on that one. And so I am doing for in place upgrade Windows as well as Unix. In this perspective, I am taking some of the support from you and Stan. If you need any, I reach out to you definitely. So
Okay,
yeah, definitely.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope all of them from infra background. So probably I will start explaining the automation versus manual and things, since you already know all of them, but I'm just giving heads up on that. Okay, so nowadays all IT companies moving towards automation. So you already know about it. Now the chat GPT and is very popular. So AI has become popular nowadays. So where it started? It started from few years back. So since everyone started with the automation, DevOps comes to into pictures. First, it started with the agile process, and then it moved to DevOps, and then it moved to AIML things. So now we have a lot of improvements in the AI platforms. So the script is mainly used in all other journey. So the script is used in basic Windows itself. For example, in Windows 2012 also we have a script, the batch script, BAT. You know, right? Batch script. So script is available at the beginning of the OS platform. So batch script, shell script, and Python, sorry, PowerShell. PowerShell is already included with the Windows platform, right? So PowerShell. So all
Nitin,
those
again,
script
sorry to
is
interrupt. I think your screen is frozen for me. It is still in the slide.
is it so?
Yeah.
I shared my entire screen. Is it for the only one or stand?
Yes, I am looking only for your PPT, not able to your
Oh, is it?
PowerPoint.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
what happened? Okay, let me stop sharing and share the full screen.
Yeah, now we could see the full screen. Yeah, you are able to,
Okay,
we are able to see that you're swapping. Yeah, fine.
okay. Right. Thanks, Dan. Right. So there are a lot of script, available before, so batch script, shell script, PowerShell, and then a lot of scripting, right? JavaScript, and then a lot of scripting available in the market before as well. Perl, Python, Ruby. Right? Okay. So okay. So why automation plays at this moment? So it's it's very popular in terms of
One minute. I have one doubt.
yes.
What about the script which are used in Swift in such kind of application development?
Uh, which one? Can you repeat,
Um,
please?
Swift, Shift
Swift.
.NET
Okay.
or in such kind of development platform, what kind of base script is used?
Okay, you are asking about the .NET application, is it? .NET platform, is it?
.NET and Shift, yeah.
Okay. .NET is a programming language, so it's not used in any scripting. So we can make use of JavaScript for web applications in .NET platforms. So .NET is a framework. So in that we have lot of language like C Sharp, J Sharp, VB. So you know, right? So I could not understand your question. So you are asking me what is the script used in .NET? Is it .NET or Swift?
Yes.
So
Okay, so script is a different one. We can make use of scripting in the framework in the applications actually. So the .NET is a framework. Script is a different one. You can make use of script in the framework. I mean, you can embed the script into the framework.
Okay.
so are you referring to Swift, Saumian, SWIFT?
Yes.
Okay, so Swift is different. Okay, Swift is mainly it's a programming language. It's predominantly for Apple platform, right? So where we go and develop application to run it on top of Apple iOS or maybe Mac, Apple Watch, TV. So all those programs are developed using Swift. Actually, it is a programming language. Whereas whatever we are discussing now, it's predominantly towards scripting kind of languages. Yeah,
Okay. Okay, Steve.
yeah,
Thanks.
sure.
Yeah. All right. So okay. So currently in IT, there are a lot of automation is going on. So based on the availability of tools and requirements, the automation is changing actually. So for example, if you have some DevOps tools, then you can make use of DevOps tools for your automation purpose. So if you have orchestration tools in place. Have you used any orchestration before? So orchestration tools, for example, VRO, Sarge, HPOO, BMO. So there are a lot of orchestration tools available. If you have orchestration tools, so you can make use of the script in the orchestration tools in order to achieve the automation. Okay. So in DevOps tools, so you can use of say CD pipelines. There are a lot of tools, right? Configuration management. Can use Ansible, Puppet, Chef, Salt. Okay. So why I'm telling this? Okay. So if you have environment having these kind of tools, you can make use of any scripting language. So based on the supportability. So the Python is used in any any tools. So Python is used in Ansible, SaltStack. So and also if you have the orchestration tools, VMware Orchestrator or Microsoft Orchestrator, so you can make use of Python script in order to um, perform the complete automation. So automation is something defined in two way. So one is semi-automation. So for example, so if you are going to do some manual steps, for example, feeding the inputs manually, and it will perform the task automatically in script, and then you are going to just monitor the output and going to close the ticket. So those some semi manual task is called a semi-automated solution. So there are two automation types which can be defined. So one is semi-automated solution and second one is fully automated solution. So for example, so without any manual intervention, the script will taken care of all these stuff. So for example, consider, so if you're going to get an incident for ABC servers, so the incident might be McAfee is down or is stopped, service is stopped. So you're getting an alert in the service now. So at the time, what will happen? The ticket will be assigned to some groups. So the corresponding group members supposed to check the ticket and going to check the CA information and manually going to check the status in the server console. And once it's stopped, they supposed to change the status manually. Once it's started again, these tickets supposed to update with the commands. The status supposed to change, and the ticket instant will be closed. So this is the step we are going to do manually. It's a SOP thing, right? So in that, if you are going to do entire thing with the script platform or automation way, then there is no manual touch point or manual things available. Then it's considered as a fully automated solution. So whenever there is a ticket comes in the queue, the script supposed to check, monitor the queue, and it will find the exact ticket and will go to the corresponding CA, and it will access that server. It will check the service status, and if it is stopped, then it will go and change the status back. And once it's supposed to verify again, once verification is done, it's supposed to go back to the ticketing tool. It will go to the corresponding incident, and it will update the relevant commands, and it will close the ticket. So if there is no manual touch points in the script, it is called as fully automated solution. So we can achieve the automation in two ways. So one is fully automation, and the second one is semi-automated with some manual touch points. Okay. So in order to achieve those two categories, we need some tools or scripting. So if you already have some tools, DevOps tools, you can make use of scripting in order to achieve those touch points. So what are the touch points? So if you take start to end, there are a lot of steps available. You have to access the, you have to, fetch the corresponding incident. You have to identify which incident is supposed to be. You have to get the CA information. You have to get the short summary. So you have to analyze the, short summary. So based on that, you are supposed to go to the server, log into the server. So you can segregate the things into steps. So based on these steps, you can make use of tools like Ansible, JF, SaltStack. So if you don't have those tools, you can make use of scripting itself. So you can make use of Python using the REST API. You can go and check the get the tickets from ServiceNow or Remedy, and you can analyze the tickets in the Python itself, and you can able to log in into the server and check the services and do the steps in the using the PowerShell itself, unless you have the tools. Okay, so what I'm telling, you can do those automation thing with the help of Python itself. Okay, so any questions?
You can share this notepad after the class. Is it possible?
Yes, I'll share it. So okay, so
Yeah,
the
possible.
every day, I mean, whenever I'm taking the class, at the end of the class, I will share the notes, and on the Sunday lab session, right? So I will share the
Yeah.
scripts, whatever we are discussing. So you just take the script as a reference, and you have to do, you can follow these steps, and you can try your own machine on the labs day.
Yeah. Okay. Same logic. We can try different type of script.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Right. So have you
Thank you.
played with this automation stuff? why we are, what are the types and how we can make use of, script into that. Okay, sorry, good to go. Right. Okay, so this one is general. I told. So this one, the infrastructure automation. If you see, infrastructure is divided into multiple tracks. Windows, Unix, so Citrix, database, storage, network. So there are etc. So there are a lot of tracks, teams available, right? So each team having its own deliverables. So they supposed to manage the servers. So Windows team supposed to manage their Windows machines. Unix team supposed to manage their Unix, Linux, open source machines. There are 1,000+ machines available, for each project. So they supposed to manage. They supposed to check all the CR, change request, incident request, so all those stuff from the ticketing point of view, and they supposed to perform health check, other activities as well on the day-to-day operations. Okay, so what I'm telling, trying to tell is, so whenever there is an manual operation in place, so we supposed to have these steps called a SOP. So if we have SOP, you just need to take that SOP, and you are just going to make use of the SOP, just analyze that, and you can segregate the SOPs into script. So you can't automate entire SOP into the script. Some cases it is possible, but some cases it is somewhat difficult. So we have to understand what are the feasibility first. So for example, if I'm taking patching is a activity, right? So patching is a big one, right? So if you're going to perform patching, you can just split into three steps. One is pre-patching, the patching, and post-patching. So if you're considering three steps, each steps having its own sub-step as well. So for example, in the pre-patching itself, you have a lot of things to do. So one is to get the service status, current service status.
Yeah, we usually will do kernel, water, FStab entry. These kind of steps we usually do for
Yes,
Linux host. Windows,
correct.
we'll do drives and then services, etc.
Kernel, so file system. So there are a lot of things based on the process, right? File system. All right. So in the patching activity, you're supposed to do it sometime manually, sometime and there is some tools available, right? SCCM,
Yeah,
BigFix.
SCCM, that's satellite, WCS, SAS, these kind of things we will do
Yeah.
proceed. So
So
we
there are a
will
lot of,
segregate the patch, we will filter like that. Some of the environment they will not block the Java, some of the some applications they will block during the patches. This kind of filter
yes.
we'll do for during the patches.
Yes. So based on the available tool, you can make use of that one, right? So the for post patching, you just do the comparison. Okay, take the service again and compare the service, which one is stopped, which one is working fine against the pre-patching actually, and you will perform the file system status. So all those stuff you're supposed to perform under the post patching. So what I'm telling is, so if you're going to do some automation, you have to do the analysis first. You have to create, you have to segregate the task bit and piece like this, and you have to target one by one. So you can just start with the simple one, and then you can integrate. Once you completed this one, you can go with the patching, and you can go with the post patching, and then you can integrate all those things into the same script if you want. Okay,
So
so
we
is
here
this
we need to create a frames like whatever we don't like. So we will create the frames. Then after all the frames, we can merge. Then we can do to run the script usually. The same thing we follow in here Python.
yeah.
So
So
yeah.
that's what I'm like. I mean, the recommendation is, instead of going the entire thing in this stretch, you can go with simple task by task. Okay, so
Mm.
once you
Okay.
achieved everything, you can just do the testing. So if everything is working fine, then you can create one more script for post patching, one more script for patching. So once everything is working fine, then you can integrate all these things into the same script. So okay, so you can okay. What I'm telling is, doing the task one by one is easy for you to understand on the initial stage, and also and also testing also is very easy for you in order to do entire testing. So phase by phase, you can achieve the automation, and once you are clear and once you are getting the right output outcome, then you can integrate the entire thing at a stage. Right. Any questions?
I say no.
Okay, all right. Okay then, so we'll take a 10 minutes break, and then we'll continue again.
Okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so let me know once you can able to see my screen.
Yes, we can able to see.
Okay, right. Just a minute. Okay, so hope you understand. So what is automation, and how to achieve the automation. So what are the types available? In the for automation, how we can start with the scripts. So any doubts with the with this one? Okay. All right. So let's start with the Python versions. So the Python started in 1991. The initial release is the 0.0.9. So now, the latest version is 3.11. Um, okay, it was released in 2022. So from 2019 onwards, they are releasing the new version in October. So previously, it was released in different months. So after 2019, it was released only in the October month. So the next version 3.11 will be released in this year, October. So you can able to find the history, the version history, and other details from the official Python web page. So this is the official Python web page, python.org. So in that web page, you can able to find all the details. So this is the official web page. So here you can able to find the Python information. So the latest releases, news, upcoming events. So all these stuffs over here, and also you can able to download the packages from here. So by default, if you click on downloads, you can able to find the downloads for Windows. But if you click on other things, sorry, if I clicked. Okay, so if you want for other OS, you can click on the corresponding OS flavors. Okay. Okay, so currently the Python is which we are using is Python 3. So previously we have Python 2. Currently we are not. I mean, Python is not supporting Python 2 anymore. They are not going to release any security vulnerability and fix as well. So currently they are providing support only for Python 3. So usually when there is a bug, then they will release the bug fix. So now they are not going to do for version 2. They will provide only support for Python 3. So you have to check your system whether you have which flavors, which version of Python available. First, you have to check, if this has, previous version. I mean, Python 2 or Python 3. If it is Python 3, then it is fine. You can proceed with the scripting. So if you find Python 2, you can upgrade to Python 3. So the latest version is 3.11. Okay, so before continue to the installation, so what are the things we need in order to start the development? Okay, so now we are going to do some automation stuff using Python. So considering this way, so what are the things you supposed to have it before starting the work? So first one is you need a dedicated system. So it might be a server, development server, or test server, or UAT server. Since we are not going to use production server side, so it's a buildable. So either if you have any development servers in your environment, then you can make use of that development servers for your scripting development and also testing. So once you got the server access, then you need the admin access actually. So once you got the admin access, only you can able to download the packages from the internet, and also you can do your automation 100%. So if you are not having the admin rights, it is difficult to install the necessary modules, right? So you supposed to have the admin rights. So the third one, so okay, the testing. Okay, so the software package. So software package is Python actually. So the Python and also IDE. So you need to install the necessary software package. So we have to install the Python package. So if check whether it's already having Python, on the search box you can able to find with the Python. So it will show it is Python is available or not. So if it is not available, you can directly go and download the Python and install it. And if it is already available, then you can check it out what is the version. So you have to check the version. So if it is a old version, then you can upgrade with the new version, Python 3. So it's not you're supposed to install the latest version. It's up to you to install the latest version. So anyway, the thing is we have to use Python 3, any version of Python 3. But if you are using latest version, it will be good since it's up to date. You might have all the bug fix modules and all. So always I prefer to use n minus 1. So what is the n? Is the latest version. So before the latest version is supposed to be good. So try with the n minus 1 if it's okay. And also IDE. So what is IDE? Is a editor. You can manage your codes. You can open your files and you can type your codes into that, and it will be easy to test it out. So in terms of Python IDE, we have a lot. We will discuss it in few minutes. So I would prefer to use Visual Studio Code. So how many of you used Visual Studio Code?
I'm using.
Okay, super. Right. So if you are using, then you know how it is working. If you
Yeah,
are
yeah.
not using, yeah, if you guys not using, then it's fine. So anyway, we are going to, I will give you the overview how it will work. Um, I mean next week. Okay. So I prefer to use Visual Studio Code. So if you wish, there are a lot of IDE available actually, especially for Python. We have PyCharm actually. So if you wish to use PyCharm only for Python, then it's fine. It's up to you. You can install it. Otherwise, if you are having Visual Studio Code, it will be it is common for all the languages, I would say. So we can use Git in the Visual Studio Code. You can use PowerShell, Perl, Python. So a lot of language it supports. So it's an IDE, right? So if you wish to take the common editors, then you can go with the Visual Studio Code. So otherwise, if you want only for only for Python editor, then you can go with PyCharm. Okay, just a minute.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yep, can you hear me right?
Yes, we
Hello.
can able to.
Yep. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. So what I'm telling is, if you want a dedicated IDE for only for Python, then you can go with PyCharm and all. So if you wish to use Visual Studio Code, you can make use of Visual Studio Code for all platforms. All right. Okay. See, the first one, dev servers are the test machines, and which has admin rights, and you have to check the you have to install the necessary packages, and then okay. So you have to look for where you are going to store your files. So if you want to go with the local storage, I mean, you are going to store the scripts into the your own servers, then it's fine. So otherwise, if it is a centralized machines, or else it's a Git repository, then so you can store all your codes into the Git repository, and you can pull it out the code whenever if you want to modify. So if you have the environment, then it's fine. Git repository, or GitLab, or GitHub. So if you don't have, then you can store it in your local machine. Okay. So always do these steps. I mean, do your testing. I mean, unit testing. Whenever you are going to do develop the code, you're supposed to do the testing until the release. So do your unit testing. Okay. Right. Okay. Any questions with the prerequisites?
No.
Okay. All right. So before installing the Python, so what we need to check whether this server is having any Python versions. Okay, suppose if it is having 2000, sorry, if it is having Python 2, then it was discontinued in 2020 actually. So you have to make sure the system having Python 3. So if it is having 2, then you can just remove that and then you can install with the Python 3. So since Python is supported for all platforms, so I updated with Linux, Mac OS, and Windows. So on the Linux platform, we can check the Python version using the command Python 3 space -- version. So once you enter this command on the terminal, it will tell you what is the version installed on the machine. So if it is Python 3 point something, then it is fine since it's a Python 3, right? So it is fine. Yeah, it is we can go ahead with the scripting. So if it is giving any error message like this, Python 3 command not found, so it indicates Python 3 is not installed on the machine. So you can easily understand this machine does not have Python 3. So likewise, in Mac OS also, we can use same command, Python 3 space -- version. So from the output, we can check it out. Sorry. So on the Windows machine, so you can check it on the command prompt. So in the command prompt, you just go and type Python space -- version or py space -- version. So let me type it here. So in the system, it's installed with Python 3.10.6. So if I'm getting this error, sorry, getting this message, it's fine. So Python 3 installed successfully. It's available on this machine. So if I'm not getting this message, I'm getting some, Py is not recognized, or Python is not recognized. So something related this one error message. Then Python 3 or Python is not available. So we have to install manually. So the key notes is Python 2 is not supported. Then you have to check and you have to install Python version 3. And second one is you have to check which version is available. So you can check using -- version flag. Any questions?
No.
Okay. All right. So next one is how we can install the Python. So before we are just checking whether Python is already available or not, and also it is having Python 3. So now we are going to install the Python. I'm not going to demonstrate this one. I will tell you how to install it. So probably later this class or this week, if you have time, just install the packages. Install the Python on your system, which you are going to work for 10 weeks. Okay.
I think,
So
Aragyo, I think most of people are from infra background. Many of them know how to upgrade, and these things are. I
okay.
hope
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you know.
Okay, yeah, it's easy for you all, but I just give you the some information around that, so you can refresh it.
Yeah.
It will be yeah. So if you are from if you are going to use Linux machines, if you are going to install Python, so if it is a Ubuntu, then apt will work, right? So you can do sudo apt get update and then sudo apt get install and then Python followed by the version if you want. Which version you want, you can you can mention that one. And if you're going to use yum package installer, the Red Hat machines and all, we are supposed to use yum package, right? So on that, you have to use yum install rh Python version. So we supposed to be installed on the root admin only. So in Linux we have to use sudo, and in Windows we supposed to be admin. So the same command we can use to validate the version is updated correctly. So in Mac OS, we have to download the packages from the Python org, and you can run it manually. So for Python Windows, there are two options in Windows machines. One is you can check it out on Microsoft Store, and you can just install the file from that path. Otherwise, you can go and download from the Python org, and you can you will get the exe file, right? So you just go and install that one. The main thing when you're installing on Windows, there is a checkbox available at step 2 or 3. I think so. So on the checkbox, it will you have to enable. So the checkbox will show you whether you want to add environmental variable. So the environmental variable which is used to manage, already know, right, environmental variable in Linux as well. So your Python path supposed to be updated in the environmental variable. So you have to check the checkbox. So during the installation, then in the environmental path will be updated during the installation itself. Right. Okay. So next one is Python environment. IDE editors and all. So before going into, so I will tell you what is IDE. Integrated Development Environment. So its name itself you can able to understand. It's an integrated development environment. Okay. So once you installed the Python, you will get two things. So one is Python, and second one is IDLE. So IDLE is the default IDE in Python. So this is a IDE. It's a development environment which can be used to type your code and debug your code and test your code. The default one, if you want, you can make use of it. But the thing is, it is something you have to navigate different um, different app. So instead of moving that, so we can make use of Visual Studio Code, PyCharm. So it's a single interface. So ideal is we are supposed to use if you're okay to manage with multiple forms, but it's quite tedious. So that's why I recommend to you make use of Visual Studio or PyCharm. So why we are using IDE? It will be easy to manage your files. You can save your code, reload your saved files, and run the code in the environment. Debug support available. You can debug line by line what is happening and what will be the result during the execution. Syntax highlighting. So in case if you mistakenly type anything, then it will show you. It will show underscore. Okay, in the Windows, if there is a syntax error, it will show, right. Likewise, it will show in the color formatting. So syntax highlighting will be there. Automatic code formatting. So sometime the open bracket and will be automatically added. So and also some IntelliSense also are available. So the IntelliSense means if you are putting dot, it will automatically load the available classes, properties, methods. So it will be automatically shown for you to type it. So there are a lot of editors available, and the basic editors ID is Python shell. So the Python shell is this one. What I'm telling is, so if you type Python, you can able to find Python 3.10, right? So this is called Python shell. This is again a kind of command prompt, Python command prompt. So here, whatever you are typing, then you will get it. So it's a single line editor. So I mean, whatever you're typing, you can able to do it on single lines. So if you want to perform multiple lines and you want to store the code for reusability, then you can't do here. You have to go with the editors. So the ideal is integrated development and learning environment. So this one also will be installed by default. So if you want to check this one, you can check it out. Okay, so here this is a command prompt, but if you want to create a new file, you can create here. So this is your editor. So once you type your code, you can store it in the hard disk, I mean in the file system. So the Python file is supposed to be .py. .py. So once you save the file, I say Python file .py, then you have to go and run this file. Okay, so since this multiple forms are opening, right? So multiple files are opening. So that's why I'm telling it will be something difficult to manage here. So that's why you can go with some other editors. So there are a lot of editors available here: Eclipse, Sublime Text, VI, Visual Studio Code, and all. I would prefer to use Visual Studio Code. It's a general purpose IDEs. So if you want to specific with Python, you can go with the PyCharm, Spider, or Doni. Okay, so people used to manage with the Visual Studio Code. Sometime they used a PyCharm, right? So in our class, I am going to give the demo in Visual Studio Code only. So how to install Visual Studio Code? You can just go to in Google and find out Visual Studio Code, and there's a page available. Code.visualstudio.com. So in this page, you can go with Windows, Debian, RPM, Mac. So if you are going to install on Windows, you can go and download here and install the exe file as usual. Okay. So once you downloaded, just install it, and it's a very simple installation. There is no specific information we need to provide. And once you installed, so probably next week we will create a folder, I mean project folder, and we'll start the scripting. Okay, so just a quick check before winding up for today's class. So based on the understanding, can you just tell me what is the main version of Python you currently supported?
3.
Yep, super. Python is a dash language.
Interpreted.
Super. IDE stands for?
So integrated development environment.
Exactly. The first one, integrated development environment. It's not an engine, it's not an internal. So it's an integrated development environment. Okay. All right. So just an recap. So today we started with the Python definition. So Python is an interpreted, dynamically typed, garbage collected high-level programming language. It is a simple, easy to learn and the syntax and all, and it supports multiple programming paradigms. So why we are using Python? We are using Python in many platforms like IT application development, IT infrastructure, researchers, mathematicians, data science, data processing, data analyst. So all those area we can make use of Python due to its open source package availability. So we discussed about compiler versus interpreted, what is dynamically typed, garbage collection, high level and low level programming language. And we discussed about multi-programming paradigm. And there's some history about Python. Currently, who is managing and which year it was introduced. And it's a case-sensitive language, so it supports all the platform OS. So we discussed about some flavors of Python and advantages and disadvantages, and real world Python application. So web application, Instagram using Django, game development, Battlefield 2 using PyCharm, scientific numerical applications using SciPy, Pandas, AI, ML, TensorFlow, uh, packages used in Cafe, software development, enterprise business applications, web scraping. Right? Have you heard about Selenium, right? It's a testing tool, a powerful testing tool in web applications and all. So web scraping
Yeah.
tools actually. Yeah, it's based on Python only. Language development. So using Python itself, there are some language available. Infrastructure automation, the CM is the configuration management tools is related with, is based on the Python only. So we can do a lot of things with respect to Python in for automation. So just highlighted sample use cases. Okay, when it comes to Python, there are a lot of versions available. The latest version is 3.11. So we discussed about how to check the Python version and also how to install the Python for different OS flavors. So finally, we discussed about the code editors IDE available, why we are going with IDE instead of using the command line itself. And also we discussed about the general editors and also the Python specific editors. Apart from this, we discussed about what is automation and why we are going automation. So what are the types available? So we have the tools, how we can embed the scripting into that tool. And if we don't have these tools, then we can go with scripting itself. The only thing is the managing the code. Okay, so if you are managing the code from the Git, then it's fine. So if you already have these tools, you can manage the codes. Even DevOps also, we supposed to manage all the playbooks and all in the Git only. So for orchestration, we can manage the code within the tools itself. Okay, so we discussed how to proceed with the scripting. So instead of taking all the steps into taken care, so we can start with simple task. And once we tested and everything is working fine, then we can integrate the whole thing. We discussed about automation prerequisites in order to start with the development. This is mainly for the environment. Production environment. So in the projects. So we especially need development servers and also admin rights. So in our classes and all, we are supposed to use only laptops, our laptops, right? So here we are always having the admin if you are using personal laptop and all. All right. Any questions with the today's class?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. So if I am going fast, please let me know. It is fine to go with the same way, or you want to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay for me.
Okay,
It's good.
okay,
I
Raj.
think it's doing the yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, but since this is a theoretical introduction class, so something we can go with some kind of fast. But hereafter is a pure coding, right? So, I just need your all attention, and also if anything not clear, then let me know on the same page. All right. Okay then. So we will meet you next week, Saturday, 5 p.m. So we'll start. Okay. So before that, please install the Python and also Visual Studio Code on your machines. So if you are facing some issues, no issue, no problem. We can meet on Saturday, right? So we can take a systems sharing and then we'll fix it. In case you couldn't make it. Yep.
Is there any existing sessions that you have taken to just to go through what the things that have been done?
Okay. So this is the recording session. Okay.
Okay.
So it will be stored on the
No,
YouTube
I'm not asking
playbooks.
about the recordings.
Okay.
I'm just asking about the
The
notes.
content,
Content.
notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so it is available on Git. Let me check with the Stan. Okay, he will provide the details, Sumit. Yeah. Okay then. If no questions, we can close for it today. So we'll catch up next week Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. Bye.